is Boadu TV. Truth and integrity.
Ebusia ma munyina kwaba aha e Boadu TV so na ma yentinsi mwe woni mi sa cheche fosu da na omo ye kire kakra bi ma yese SWAT team ose hwan Ghana police for kopamo mu fi ministry hon na anya sanketo akra Ivan Chi jebi no omabo ewrem a cheche mu na Ivan de se wo de onim se na otimi ye na de dada okasa se utimi yam MPP to the extent say akwa no kasa o min kasanche yenkutie na iwia yente Captain Smart rent issues ababa ya adhwade ama Ghana mabu no omam na mpanyifo na twe omani omusi affordable house na nebo de na moton de mom guest yetie fire no so
very important such issues come up Ghana for who what actually so and per analysis solutions or say about 5,000 people outstanding more in 2024 August be seen there omunsanka salary omunya clearance and staff ID crown omunsanka bi so system now yes you can blame but the individual teacher now no Okujina classroom or chra there for the past 4, 5 to 10 months in the and sanka salary you need to empathize with that person or besides crime ban or fast or survival barring all these systemic infractions this kind of anomalies in for na I think there should be a way the GS and the Ghana and the Ministry of Education a bit me fast no bet me rectify whatever the challenges Emma amount for encore pikete because desperation and anger and amount for ISA and this particular thing you see several other sectors. I have friends who are medical doctors almost started somewhere last year or more your friends a housemanship job they've been at the ground for almost 7 good months in here. No clearance, nothing. Until which means also you are not being paid, nothing. Won't fail form beer. It's a big challenge. So the question is, for instance, of Accra or a housemanship, your friends say Kolebu, ebi a making otetema. Every blessed day, a Southaka, nobody is giving you a pin for almost 8 to 9 good months in here. Ask yourself, as a normal, reasonable human being, say, how would that person survive? What I say? So I think some of these things, should motivate us to quicken the process just to ensure, say, if we are ready to put people out there to go and work here immediately, processes must quickly advance just to ensure, say, after 1 month, 2 months, we need to process and get them their salary. We often sit here and talk about corruption at the workplace. Wouldn't say corruption in Ghana, but be a worker in the public sector. And you know why? It's because of sometimes some of these challenges. For teacher for you who are not tried 6 months, 8 months, I into Yanakai. And at their schools, they will find a way to survive. You understand? So I know that the burden ever shifted to the ordinary person out there. So for me, I think I've seen a lot of release, a lot of talk about discussions in Nasafor. The major problem is there is a problem. Individuals, whether it is the fault of theirs or whatever, the question is, are they teaching? Are they rendering services that are required of them? Because without the staff ID, that is the identity you need for every document processing at the Offensive Control and Accountant General Department. That is the identity I will be here and sana. So say you issue clearance. That's when you most staff idea. What at all is the problem? And Lucius can say a bit more high or Mensah or more pay slip. But everybody is empty because to get a pay slip it means every independent clearance and I was seeing your fence staff ID. So it means that these are normal infractions a work system somebody need to rectify because me I sympathize with individuals obakwatena ekurase baby ana sikai mu obi bese na obakwakoye adwuma for almost 10 good months nobody is paying you and we think those things are normal. There are people who have worked for 6 good months. Obi akura misao chese Obia working for 10 and any teacher from Kwao. I'm telling you, several other areas as I never way so as a country, if we are growing, I think that we need to devise mechanisms just to ensure say things like this, you know. You bet me I resolve, but very often you buy any good name and so now ababa we now no me say Bank of Ghana. I throw letter Bible and tia nipa no mo fa mo before elected December. Yes, we know appointment no terminate.
Yeah.
You see, on moral grounds, you must say, I'm going to Ghana for an identity, buying beer banner all of a sudden. But Uber comes, you know, many partner or employ people at the time who defy the moral principles. Because you see, you are talking about we want to lose election, we need to coffee. Common sense, and on the your friends, principles of morality, you know, should tell you, say, if only you think that you are servicing a nation, you should know that putting over 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people on a particular place, you know, at the end of the day, you know, isn't going to augur well with a government that is coming.
We are 12,807.
No, Bank of Ghana, okay, then America.
Okay,
what I say, at the end of the day, you know, the decision is let us starve the place. Or more the problem. Now vacancies now, no. But and this thing happened at Cocoa Board. Staff no do so change work in our house of Mubiano. What I say? And the question is buying Sasako, buying back. And I wonder why we cannot be bold and address. So because some of these things are our challenges. The major problem has to do with the Transition Act. Because the Transition Act, you know, creates a vacuum. And that vacuum is what guarantees some of this nonsense among 4 years because you lose power. So, I didn't say the Transition Act and say whether we create a freeze period and now say a certain regulatory mechanism be in place just to ensure say a binding within that period, you know, something has to be done so far as appointment and recruitment is concerned. Abana okono adwomode woni tima to the sense afa na obesesa manfo de agum e de ka rules wako abana oba no so ba o he pay the money is available me so I cannot pay them, then you have to sack them. At the end of the day, you know, the person at the center dey Ghana ni poor person bi e akra obi age na bribe na odna kotum omo life and I torso in the name of this dirty politics I hear. So for me, I think that there are a lot of structural weaknesses we as a people no bet me address it, and this particular transitional act they are making this lacuna, this infraction, this loopholes na woman and give you the outgoing president the room to be doing all these things. Cocoa Board muluso aba omokono MPP luso aba omokono and I hear cra Jude Sachs I'll be here in the next 10 years and a contract that man for Montomegu. So which means that the mindset isn't about mind. The mindset is always about satisfying your friends, your cronies, your allies, just to ensure that we make money. Because Obia will lose about Wukofie. Due sack, no, their warehouse Cocoa Board will need about 5 years to finish it. Now Kwabrane say, ye lose abana ye kofie minto bingum. And Sanyama way happen several other sectors. ECG is the same thing happened there.
And unfortunately, ECG promote frustration on people.
Yes.
Oh, how many do lights, they do canal run from there, the bills
can say the same thing. And you see, what is this? Somebody called me from ECG, the main way or catch them say, are you aware, sir? Oko ECG. Omo customers na omo da flat rate so na asa we meet say enti no yanya ne saying ebia bosome na ya ma se bia betua 500 Ghana ebia bosome betua we 300 Ghana we betua 10,000. Do you know that some of the big hotels e wo kroma I this particular rate so can you imagine I was of meter say and it's been running for 1 year, and do you know what is happening for the past 4 months in here say oh yeah your friend is saying hotel what that flat rate no so now so what time sika say oh bosome bia say metua 20,000 ebi metua 20,000 or time sika na dey call ECG almost say your system na you obi ntifa kofi akire ba beje. And for the past 4 months, the ECG is not collecting that money. I'm telling you, this is a company or the so people are paying flat rate, and you can call anybody on flat rate. Yeah, I
know of that.
Because almost of payment system, but you need to devise a way because Nipana or not running hotel or 20,000 a month. Okasa on Fasikanu Kofi na ko brobro so 5 months. The person will get 1 billion for you. This is common sense. The person will not get 1 billion for you. So I know the day a baba yeka Nipa de sika na ba. You need to devise some kind of ingenuity, even if you think your payment platform is a problem. That is why we put people there to think. Immediately now, you should be able to devise. Akwese wako nguram na usumfidie na abuano ba ose kominyan sumfidie ni we misum ya waba. What kind of nonsense is this? You understand? And yet the level of incompetence and the inefficiencies choking state institutions and state enterprises, is so astonishing and very embarrassing. And very often, the very people there, they don't suffer the consequences. Do you know why? Because at the end of the day, they take their fact salaries. Omutimi tam conferences, omutina krum haye. Omutimi ko Dubai se kwa conference. Conferences yetina krum haye no. Kwabrani twa plane ticket koye conference keke ewa abonten. Because of these structural weaknesses and inefficiencies in the system, I know the day na ya bure katwitwiri di agu ho na ya pass ya ma Mensah ono te market na makola woman na ono ye no ori na etua.
Endra, sad story on ECG. Somewhere ewo awowin, that is Enchi area mu hono mu. Oti one man na say o de kabe be 300 Ghana. They are still using the old meter. O de kabe 300 Ghana, 500 Ghana. Na ya ECG fo aba na e be 2 meter na e de ko. So I think, sir, you see, Mensah widen the scope across all sectors just to give you a bigger picture of how our inefficiencies are choking their governance in the way architecture and that one. And for me, I think, sir, we need to be very proactive and very confrontational, making sure that we deal with some of these things in a very aggressive fashion. And yes, sir, you will try, we will move nowhere. Another day, few people, some misguided, twisted minds, will have opportunity to be in position of power. No, you use that as an opportunity. They will rather enrich themselves, and the poor masses, the entire governance system is supposed to advance their life and their welfare. No, will always be poor forever. And if you look at all the indices, track it to know whether there's been improvement in the life of the average and the ordinary Ghanaian, you see there is nothing. And to Chroma Yeti, whenever people are talking big economics and as far human development index, nobody mentions it. You can GDP, you can say GDP now, GDP no. Companies no more Chroma, foreign companies. They repatriate everything and go. Over Chroma, South Africa companies are Chroma Hafa. Ubenya your friend saying oko more ha ubenya kese bi wo ho omo from saying Shoprite ubenya Absa Bank ya bai ubenya MTN big companies, and another day when they come here and they make money, they take all the monies away. Ghana for South Africa Redemption Hwan Church Jesus Center we don't export companies out heaven. Sometimes I are now way. So that is the mentality, you understand? So I think time as a year broadly. Now you share all these structural weaknesses, Now you making sure you're dealing with, and another day there must also be consequences. Spell it out to individual. And for me, I think in public service, I for feeling like because there are no weapon mechanisms in place. There are no punitive sanctions, consequences that are meted out to individuals. So I know the worst that can happen is a mikofie. But say I am very strict. We are making sure that because of some inefficiencies, be individuals be after so when you go so because say you turn up a woman, your friend is saying national security for your proper audit. Individuals no more go flat rates, go because it's not supposed to be permanent, and if, because so what problem would meet within the space of 3 months, ECG should be able to come and change that meter for you and put you on the proper way. But some have been on it. Go and check. Oh yeah, big hotels. Your political meter crowd big companies. So I know the day. Average Ghanaian not in the baby no catch and say ECG the car, power sector the car, energy the car, and Pierre car goes. Do you think the person will be comfortable? No, I think the citizens are always ready to help, but it depends how I buy never. The last time I catch South Korea or my move for now, way for good, way for the sick way, they line up in the streets of Sosa government, major music and from Kutianaka because they know say you have good intentions. You want to do the right thing, but in our situation, you cannot say the same thing. When state-owned enterprises can fly, your friends are board members, management members, you go Dubai, a board meeting, like for what reason? And these things are happening. So you can do your underground way. You see say most of the company over the years, that is what they've been doing. And these things are possible because of the structural inefficiencies in Asafo. So I think that where air cost with the teachers, yes, you can blame them for whatever picketing Asafo, but you see me, I understand the frustration. I pity them because I know what it takes to work for almost 6 to whatever 7 to 8 good months.
1 year.
Yeah. I know the day no. Udi ho agba babo siansa na bosia no benya bimpo dia na bebo. Ubabo siansa sika na beba no na afi aba ya asem foforo. I think we must begin to incentivize these young people to see say life in Ghana no it's not about just joining political parties and as for them na obeye we answer what me bibi. That is why everybody is joining the political bandwagon because him say oba na obey DCB obey we and there kwan bia ma no. But who are who and there adwuma or the public because at the end of the day and then the woman economy no e grow my culture say oba aban adwuma mu a teachers, nurses, your friends, the police officers, they do not actively and directly make contribution to the growth. They offer third-party services, but the workforce that should be the focus. Now you drive this level of ingenuity, and the emerging technology. Because maybe we are still through and technology in advanced way. Advanced will be pay system. Now say Nidia copy baby me no.
All right.
How possible? So I think that we can address some of these challenges, and for me, it's me yes and we will not be coming doing this back and forth. And I know the day we're going nowhere.
Of course, it looks like Ghana Juma for the Ghana for Nankasa we are living on life support. So almost every day they see a pastor for Froba. Now this is a letter earlier Captain A interview with him, so I'll not go into details of that letter, but more particulars of that particular letter and audit service for social response of Modeba. Now, so what kind page 3 of the letter now? It has indicated various account numbers are your transfer sika unauthorized transfers. Eduko Nina, it's about 6 different accounts are amounting to 52 million 537 million 537 177,777.13 Ghana cedis. That is the total. I have transferred your good various accounts. More account number bakuye 1011130026299. I have Ghana Commercial Bank account number. Transfer number 10180. There's another transfer number of transactions. Nina Ohano Muse. It's the account numbers no Ohano Muse. And I war accompanied with the account number. Bako ASX G net revenue. And no you transferred 10,898,777,540 and the gumo aye unauthorized transfers. Now, I say find the details as provided in the web portal with login credentials as per attached for your response before 23rd October 2020. That is I did 24th a.m. my birthday. In the absence of the bank statement for the specific month identified, we are unable to ascertain the completeness of the transactions between the collection and the holder and the holding account. We therefore request your institution to provide us with bank statements for specific months to enable us establish the completeness and accuracy of the collection of this transfer. Papa no Betina, that is where George went for Deputy Director General Edema, the Audit Service. And also, you have a kind of Hano Musi, transactions in Nasufoni now Hano Musi. Yeah, they hold details in due time. Some of them you be posted more also so Hano Musi. My Mr. so Ivan.
David, issue where I think the Ghana for more share in Edim that say a issue.
Yeah.
Abba.
but a campaign up some resistance from the various state institutions no mo involved no trying to rebuff and I say your bought work so and you know 52 billion the better transfer from ECG account and then as a forum but issues no keep popping up. But unfortunately, it's sad to say for almost best 7 to 6 good years in here, we haven't been able to establish say sikana transfer no and I say so the finance minister they give you authorization for that particular thing to be done. Say that particular audit because this is what happened. Issue is very complex. In the I'm breaking it down. Say the city. Unse your revenue, your friends are collection institutions like GRA, like SEPS, like Wine. So omono your credit account to be your friend transit account. Transit account so fans customs ete baby taxes. The transit accounts and say but account you cannot withdraw any signatories because it's just a transit and maybe it has a threshold. Sikano Guma maybe could do 100 million automatically you transfer to the Bank of Ghana holding account. What is the city? So they are just transit. Enti me fan say GRA for jeje omo de petroleum where jeje ne de omo nyina omo jeje asa account no mo de go transit. So sikano stay mo a be a threshold e be any threshold enti eguma na automatically sikana transfer to the BOG holding account moving to the consolidated whatever. That is how it is. Enti do account na uhunu be unsa subsidy e wom. Yeah, subsidy yeah. Enti ayesika ayesubs for jeje ye. Okay. What I say? Yes. As and Kasasi can you transfer at the come to BOG holding account. Internal Revenue Service. Exactly. VAT in our womb. Yes. So this are VAT womb. Yes. And WhatsApp's womb and the EPI. Yes. Yes. That is a custom account. So Obiana and the petroleum for Najiji or the customs for Najiji or and Omudia good holding account. Thinking said the money will follow and go through to the bigger soup na the Bank of Ghana way no. Sikano Eco Bank of Ghana hono and FA baby. That is the whole argument, you know. Eco Bank of Ghana. Yes, because these are transit accounts. From these 6 accounts, you know, Sikano were supposed to go into the BOG bigger holding account. Yeah. And in their way, you know, and the diabetes baby. That is the question. So Sikana. The subsidy for JJ 10 billion. We for JJ omo we for JJ omo and besin le and asam no buy no. Your friends Ghana Commercial Bank issue statement debunking this whole thing say a nonsense. A man for na omo tena say omo putting up things together just to make the bank look very bad. But the other service again in a letter letter na e wo horo kan ko achire ba bia clearly chira say enye ensemhunu letter na a letter authorization the finance minister through the powers are conferred on the president or their man now all they yet that particular audit because who say some of the money is echo into the BOG holding account no sikani nyankoye na per their checks they've been able to find out to see say some of the money is no echo but there are a significant backlog besin there. For the purpose of clarity, for audit service for letter no more kind of but whilst we appreciate the public interest in this audit, we wish to place on records that the audit in reference is a special audit exercise which was requested by Honorable Minister of Finance Ken Ofori-Atta in a letter dated 15th August 2020 based on the mandate of the President under Article 187 Clause 8. So that is a clarification of the yes, so I Ken Ofori-Atta and I catch it way for say they should do that particular audit because that infraction was flagged somewhere. They saw it and they knew say something fishy has gone on and there is the need for us. And maybe problem is say for the past as issue we started by about somewhere 2020. Yeah, sure. A long deal issue. Document in about Boadu, document in about Boadu, and transfer na ye can say a bomb back up there call you. And what can say they were moving through different bank account, so it's possible. And do her breakdown, it be a 10 billion, it be a 6 billion, it be a 3 billion. So different, and they move. And for me, the challenge is that Ken Ofori-Atta issue that particular way now, all kinds of young says he cannot. You who answer na all.
because oya there so honestly I'm making sure that this particular thing is done but the thing is yeah hwehwe no ekosi sen issues no buy no what was the position of government yes be able to be recover this particular account because Ghana na yete my culture says whenever you are doing transaction via bank there is no way the money will get lost unless why what you say.
Yeah, sure.
If these monies were transferred by different bank accounts, you can create shell account, whatever account, do multiple diversion, whatever it takes. So we are ready to trace the money. You will know where those money went.
All right.
But till date, nobody has been able to. So I think that's very important. Say, issue we about abontia or they come by special prosecutor or the commander and mayor a bit way about it because I'm not sure say the power back and forth. Maybe Yoko would give us some kind of a shift. Your friend saying reaction be regarding this particular matter because Yoko, your friend is a special prosecutor in recent times, of issues, how they double it, the way a man go wasting and so forth. For me, I don't think a special prosecutor institution, but Yoko maybe will be able to give us. I think that this time around, and these things are things that are sitting on the minds of Ghanaians for quite a long time. And we need to delve details into what things are happening here because in the previous administration, there was no way you had insight into matters like this because the whole thing was a cover-up. The government was being run like some kind of a bosumbia. You need a special access to be able to see what was going inside. So we were standing outside and I heard the echo. But now, the government is no longer there. I think that it is a perfect opportunity for us to delve details into some of these areas. Now, who say, baby, at this transaction, because there is no transfer by banks. And alas, better than I catch say. Internet fraud brony. You cannot fraud the brony when the monies come through the world financial system. Because FBI no more kind of regulatory way. And I say, more threshold when you transfer $10,000, $5,000, and they don't have time to be following up, they will want to understand the extent of how many people are involved, whether it's a ring, the motive behind it, is it for terrorism, finance, and whatever. They really want to understand all these things. That is why sometimes they can follow an individual for 10 good years and then as for to ascertain the extent of what is happening. No, we need a clear picture of what is involved, but they're moving. And for me, I think that the same thing, NSA has say, the very moment that this money passed through bank, and then there are records, and then as for if we've been able to know the account, a move free man, I 6 accounts now, we should know where they went. What I say. And if we are able to do that, trust me, I think that we will resolve this issue.
Lucius,
issue no buy wrong. And I'm bisa Ivan Wabonti na walker once and I make us say. Sa issue we mete ye enyeme. Say an amount of 52 billion Ghana cedis.
Yes.
Ayra. Let me say how. But the first time I met you, na captain and all can once more. Say, one bank preachy. Now, ubeti aka say ye wo account to be a unknown account. Aye unknown account to be wo honma any din. What you say? Then in the first place, one near fast to create his account, because account be no men can say account name. There will be a share that a create a company and I say institution cry. Institution would enti eba ne say transaction betimi akoso ya transfer sika from institution B account e dey akọ different account enya once enya twice enya thrice na obeka say account e dey akọ tum no unknown account. I think say auditors no so maybe the internal auditors in the betimi aka say be weak kakra because say o ya adwuma e hye obi ase a empempi no your niam bi ho ma wo ka ho asem bebre ahwe awan kasa krampo no transfer be kan na say betimi ayiwadi. But what about the external ones na be no so be ba ne enti does it mean say sa sika we say na course transfer we na course no there wasn't any audit suggest to say bibisa course and there wasn't any alternative measure be the go akwa say betimi dey retrieve sa sika no. Because when you later your audit now who but be a sika no in the first place okay say adno your known account. Why audit? No about who say the account is known there. Then we should what? We should be able to what? Retrieve the money. Say according to pan ho kram we use mpa. Say etin ye den yetin hu kwan be fa so a ye beje. Enti kwan be mpa na betimi afa so be ka se o sika bi akọ onu na account ye nja ne sa sika nya 1 cedi nya 2 cedi. Hwe na no ayi lady a national service issue ya eba ya be ka say oh
lady be
former
Gift Oware.
Yes, Gift Oware. But former director general be about 8.25 million Ghana cedis. Or CSB, you transferred at the far east account at the man. And what be say? How? Quite bang. So on find your day. Or a service personnel or you my bang. Ne a sika bang.
Yes.
What you say? An amount of 21 million Ghana cedis was paid to Haruna Mawula. Sa Haruna Mawula no, ye the man from 2017 to 2024. And sa sika na oje to us 21 million Ghana cedis no. Na sika ben or ye aduma ben. What you say? A allowance and say then there was another person, Isaac Asamani, also near 11 million Ghana cedis. Or so sika like the way like sika no call work. Na be say
and our financial system no see so weak that banks do the transfer without asking questions.
No call on money at just fingerprint and frustrated.
Wow,
Sika okwa ju sika no nse
deposit do chemistry
obi na 500 Ghana we be subject to nsemunu process obi di 8 million
there was a funny yibia offense attorney general kan about say nipa no otna se na se of like Crawford be kwaje sa loan bi no what you say about 30 million Ghana cedis national service for the 30 million Ghana cedis no onu ji loan no ewie no or the company back on the call say beton niema in the high purchase or the company back on is a block of life company in the end the better sika no wie no but divert sika no into 4 different company accounts.
Our bank why?
ADB why 4 different companies accounts.
Sometimes
we be say nipa no timi tena se divert na ye hwani wasem. Who be say sa companies no companies benya. Hey. Nipa na ji 30 million Ghana cedis. All the sika no be to mu na wa divert to 4 different companies account. Enti no na watimi ayenhwe ha. Atmosphere hwe nipa na sa asemba ko okai cry say be inflate ayi offense figures no national service figures no o be wi a na ba se na tro de akoma parliament be approve wi a na ba tro de akoma finance ministry sika bed be ma be no say discount to ayi national service ayi account ma na be ba se na divert de akoto project account. As if say the co-executive project be. Na ba se me divert sales can from project account into individual account. What's
so me catch us under Akufo at the time na he was running a Ponzi scheme and your government. Because Ponzi schemes no more operating like this. Sa nam one more operations no. For tuntum budget if I keto budget kese. You see that kind of cars no more play because how can these things happen? How? Because of reference saying regulatory framework are very weak and nobody mining you be there so be a bit me this lady of can as a national service who had the way they operated one thing that comes to me is that you're very weak intellectually because for you to be doing some of these things just on the criminal radar these are the lowest individuals I said I drink credible chronomu what I say because a typical reasonable very intelligent criminal what I say so I think that is the problem that we have. We need to look at your regulatory mechanism properly because national service and just iwe nkwao. Do you know that 2016 John Mahama Ebekon or say charges some individuals Mamutu Yasika. So Akufo-Addo took over no. And sank at that time, you say a whole red flag or that. But that is the place that these people exploited for 8 good years.
That's just the son of my farm been there around the Lagos side Hono. Assassin Hono, it is meant for projects near the farms near there. Assassin be a child filling station.
When I saw Beton.
Deputy Director General currently SA assassin on Pamuomo Obeje who rent every month the own in bulk most maybe now they rent there ba it is for filling station because we na fire assassin my so
I think
Bank of Ghana dan here BC several be free expert now expert nature should be here about $81 million and in the dan no be we na ba cost spend about 21 million. 210 yes 200 like how
and no credit ni no
what you say nti wa abreko an expert momu che say dan who hear about just $81 million no what you meet na say fa kwan bi so a na wa ya the best times 3
when they Avan
Jebi so I think that Ghana is your problem and that is why that we are making about leadership you did agro because sometimes if you don't get things right the Ebeka who be a way but I think that this era John Mahama Siamba as president he has been there before and I was seeing your opportunity to come back. I think that this is the time for him to sit down and look at all these structural weaknesses I overwhelm me Ghana your progress because now he hold the hammer.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Yeah. Because in the next 4 years you are not president again. The only thing you can leave behind is your legacy that will be printed in the heart of Ghanaians. This is the time to be making bold decisions that has never been done before.
Yeah.
And so with me, yes, I think that now Donald Trump, president, you run an issue for the past 46 years in the back and forth. Then you see, sometimes you need to be very radical, very vicious, very bold, just to ensure, say, you do the greater good. You may disagree with him, but whatever he thinks, this is what has to be done. And for me, I think that the same Timodeno, and I say, near Ghana, because Ghana for creating woman, say, business as usual. Whatever I was creating room, Nasa.
Any district director be Eddie Nkomo. Ewo Sene East. Yes, Sene East district director. Na oka shortage ewo ono ne district as ohia teachers. Ohia teachers or say a deficit of about 350 teachers CCIS otimi FA.
Oh, I see.
Ono ankasa kra no say no decision on so what take here say open release free ono ne district akọ different district as a teacher on firm.
Wow.
Because ono vacancies be bring
teachers be bring.
Here teachers be bring now so per se u free honum enti no akra me say enka me hwe ayi Clementa Park honorable Clementa Park na nka me no adi ho nkomo na ma ka chance aja omwa district no. But which we say now, all can one say no. Teacher for issue we see no. When say all kind communicate now. I see a honum baby no. Now all patches say education directorate no air patches say there is some inconsistencies be about teachers no leadership.
Yeah.
Any issues now banka sabede bana. Inconsistency be womb because all she said any way muba or China asema bedbano different. I think say issues no individual issues.
Yeah.
What you say and inti abentimunya leaders enianimu farmer and again in some so teachers no so air canon so no insisi so because this is not the first time a section of teachers are recruited in 2022 by Ministry of Education. This is not the first time.
Yeah.
Baba Hoping. abe pekete na number no na eso SNC. This time o have a number no e wo fam. E kire say ba be baaye no ya tua bi mu ka. Eni nti at this time round no number no eso te no. Na ma men kan we before me ba be issue na nkasa so. See eba teacher for issue a na makuma wo mu pa because sika no isa. Enti no say obi mom ube posti obi na ode no bekwa akoto obi man so na ni pay emma de na enka na ho asem no den what you say say odi obi be free Accra na ko bi asablugu ana odi obi ebe free boko na ba beto Kumasi na maami ni ho papa ni ho na abanti ana ababawa obeye adwuma na yentua ne ka continuously for 9 months 10 months die na ho asem no areho so ahu na emom no kwasem ye say aban we say no abo ne ho modern in terms of that same teacher for we ye kan basem no aban NDC aban no abo ne ho modern yi pa de nti ameka say NDC aban na abo ne ho modern ye say overshare from 2020 to 2024 two groups per 2 batches per NPP aban no eposti enti no ba 2021 see NPP am posti batch bia 2023 ba posti batch bia enti no sa batch we say na be package wo honum no be ye the 2017 2018 men can say ba be nya admission 2017 2018 no we say be the sa degree no start be so so who enti no be wie 2021 be wie 2022 enti be wie 2022 no ne be ye be service 2023 enti no be post no eba in August 2024 enti no bra be nya be post no NPP aba no na esenka otua beka but akatua no nso no ama watch ase enti aban we mu mbae no ne obetua beka. Now you see the unfortunate thing is that the man sa group we say no be hunu be nsem kan ye say individually na ne be wo issues what you say na enye the whole batch no because o hwe batch na be recruit in 2024 no nyina na be 12,087 teachers what you say out of the 12,087 teachers no say say ya me no wo ka say no emu be 5,000 something ne be nyanya bayi no offense be pay what you say na issue no ebi staff ID ebi mu enyae
so unya staff ID so want to me
good ebi mu nya staff ID ne ebi mu nso ho aba nya be staff ID na nso pay emma ebi nso ho no ma ni pay slip eba the pay slip na eba no ebeba na 0.00 ne wo so
how
and pay slip ba be ska bia ni so nti no obehwe pay slip no so no 0.00 ne wo so ebi nso ho no ma ni di no ekopie wo different school wo school for na me wie me be ba be wura asem num a kire odenti asa issues we mu nyina no happen obi ho a wo school A but ni di ewo like ni PVs no appear wo school B PVs so na de ekofa asa issues we mu nyina baaye no documentations enye den NCC so ebi ye teachers na nkasa no be making free aban the entire American say one ye wo teachers no dodo na wo ho no ma this time be ye say be self posting enti no time na be ba be posti sa batch we say no be bi a portal no tum no be ka say obia nko portal no o enter with index number who enter with index number na regions no beba district no beba na ayi schools a ewo district no vacancy ewo ho no eno nso aba nti regional open uko region na ko district numa na school a vacant open now was selected selected we are within the shortest possible time no na yama appointment letter sane online na wa ankasa wa print hard copy no so hu na ne ebi mu eye say wa breko a ono mom wa enter a register a select school ama ba man appointment letter no o wieye besanko bie tu mu say obetimi aye reposting ni sankrofo yi bi mu no esanko ye reposting watch as enti sa reposting for no be mom ni bi wo ho no ma ni di NA ni di wo school A
yeah
but PVs no e wo different school
duplicates
ha enti no ye be dem ya tu akanti sa school na owo no e validate wa enye yi
but there should be a system where when you register now your self posting now it ends it every single you be obo wide shame one it will verify say already you exist in our portal.
We say a new system and you know I know say subsequently no mistakes we mu na no be address it what you say because na what na say na odwen ho say adenti obi be ya adwuma more than 3 months na yentua na car insist so because somewhere 2015 2016 yes issues na bi any ma your current vice president any setekwe ekambom edi sa ESPVs no buy no electronic salaries and payment voucher no buy say obi ya adwuma within 3 months no say be process the document na yefia ne ka within that same month no eno mom ne MPP for criticize ya be ke so teacher for ya adwuma ayi infie bebre ni ya ma be only 3 months watch as here bet na enya no cresa enti enei no there these are issues with teachers issues no eba no ba ko eye enkrofo bi mu a be ye reposting what you say then the second thing no so no eye enkrofo bi mu a be na nkasa nso be snitch snitch ID no eno nso nsisi so
but Ghana Education Services in some because me can say last year another group of students be the omode buy omode no mo se Ghana Education Service director baako e wo sehwe ho no mo agege omo 10,000 minimum of an average amount of 10,000 cedis am omo fake appointment letters am no so over 1 year ye ntri omo ka omo quarantine diamond no so ho sem bebre director of education when few more. You see, so when you have these pocket of issues,
fake appointment letters issue no bar. And in India, I know say education officers no do now honma. Beji amount for sika na ba appointment letter. But this time no, obi appointment letter e district level honma. The risk is that nipa no enya na ni pay. But say utmi fa kira ya na se nipa no kra nya staff ID na se yepia ne ka ontim ko promotion because we ko promotion a we hear that genuine appointment letter no na dia process for we promotion me wa letter na ekita no nso no enye genuine nti we ko process for we appointment letter the system no be den e be reject
yeah
watch I say ye won crofo bi mu ho no ma na nsan tem be frame me a me ka kire be say sa letters na ekita be no bempe ba bi na benton twene because be 2023 batch ni be ko wuram ne ai be ma be appointment letters ni be dia kwotena school mu say teachers abe kira de ni bi ka kira be say ho portal yenya mie ho portal for 2023 batch yenya mie nti ko fa appointment letters
wa obeje to mu say e be kwa Ivan hospital ya but obeje to mu say my real school me pedwuma ye I am desperate betifie na se maba wo honom na ye district director of education na maba ho na se wakwa print director general appointment letter no was sign what fake director general e dey aya it tells me that you know a purely criminal issue
crime
when interdictate the director general of education and I'm interdicting the way so I must say asem no omo akopɛ ho asem no omo nkoka what be that
criminal wow but we say the truth is that sad no akoswache oko baabi ti say wenchi say ya bunu region wenchi me na be no hwa no wenchi education office no de na nsemfo saa be ma amanfo fake appointment letters na be fa ho ejiji amanfo sika wahu but this time no ene na ka ho bi ene mabaye saa central system no wo ho no say biatuma wa wie school wo batch ni aya biatum no wo enter na why dey we register no select school this time no bi mom ni be dey akotena ase atro lecture no dey amount
okay
so wahu say what na ase atro lectures dey ma amanfo a eno ni ma ebi mo obi timi tena onu ani dam no wa abo appointment letters there was a time na wenchi okoho no ma nipa no dodo na benya appointment letters wo honum no be san konkranza na bakwaje staff ID.
Can you imagine?
Konkranza na bakwaje staff ID. And Ghana Education Service na the issues were, but I think we've come far. Because babia na ye feel like okay issues are na ekoso ho na this time send systems bi abedi agu akwama. Me gidie say with time no ebe din say we director na say HR kra na say we corrupt kra mpo a ubetimi aka say o ba abegege amanfo sika na wa ma be letters ebe din because o ma letter no kra mpo na letter no kitani pa na ontimi mfa nya den emfa nya hwe
esese ehunu se sabi obi han dan a enche so mo bra etoda ya na efewura fo no bi ma na yet say wo han dan a ase jama sabio wonje nipa na makacho say obi be the statistics be ba tumu adim ema wan say oh wo high dying Ghana housing deficit 1 million Ghana housing deficit 2 million Ghana housing deficit say let me sit here and tell you Ghana housing deficit 6 million. Enipa woni baabi da kura wo memu ha no nyame aye adoma ebebro saa 6 million na ye ka no because 6 million na ye ka no won da slums eka ho container eka ho kiosk eka ho won da lorry stations eka ho won edida baabi bebre a ancestors sabi eburu sabi enyado nipa edi ne tibeto eka ho de odam papadan mu no oka ho because modern day housing no atakwa me dan enka ho empapadan enka ho won a woda asore dem asore dan na nya wodan eti ada ubenya sof ma me bia ne bu befu oni ni kunu be ko odam ho no sofo ne ba sister obepam bra obeyi wedi eti esese ye hu say we would have a massive public led housing construction and then no me baba ya no ani so ama wohunu ye we need to have the smart communities and me din smart no I just use that one but don't person me din no problem. We need to have over 2,000 or at least 2,000 smart communities. And I'm so glad the president, Eka, said, Accra, I congested. We need to look at having a different national capital from Greater Accra. I agree to that perfectly. We'll talk about it later on the show. But we need to have these communities, Ufriha Eko Cape Costa, and Sasina were quite but unfortunately, Sasino, yet, I say to me, Sasisa or Maya de Bay queer. You're better fool, Bordia, Banchi, Mankani, whatever. But as I say, in your baby, so I didn't see school, the baby, I didn't see Diana, any pabada. Such smart communities, we need to start looking at it and how we can build. Then we need a comprehensive rent reform and assistance. See, you do baby our home. And my for politics. And ye bibia. Say, NDC wɔ power yi Sir Abraham MPP di kura na sɛ ohia mmoa yɛmmoa ne sɛ ɔyɛ Ghana ni ɛma yɛmmoa ne sɛ ɔyɛ affiliated to any political party sɛ yɛboa nipa wɔ ɔman ha ma yɛmmoa ne sɛ nipa no ɔka party wei ho ɔwɔ party wei eti ne yɛboa no dabi yɛmboa nipa ne sɛ ɔyɛ Ghana ni. I keep saying this. We are building a nation and we are not building a political party. Mimi yampani aminimu party awo. I don't want to know which political party you belong to. No, I don't care. Kwame Nkrumah OC eye moving pick hotel. Na onim ni po obekwa akoda ho. Kwame Nkrumah yey OC Accra City Hotel. Na onim ni po obekwa akoda ho. OC a pub secondary school. Na onim se dache Captain Smart beko ho. OC Infantsman Girls. Na onim se Bawumia ne yere Samira ehon obeko school. Enti se ye boa nipa e ma ye mfa political party a nipa ne wo emfa moa no. Ye boa nipa ne se oye Ghana ni. So we need to have a comprehensive rent reform and assistance. Under this, I say we say nipa ne bi ho a wo ye ne dan. The bush market here ain't me ma onya a decent accommodation. San Crawford, then I buy by one. It's here. Meant me buboni na so. As I say, affordable home ownership for all. And I told you, the Ghana mortgage guarantee system. We need to implement this. And Bedu Tumrika said about our where we are, Makatro, make Christian in the so. Now, me the Akoma Minister of Works and Housing. Now, me the copy Akoma Chief of Staff. Me the copy Bekwa Akoma Yaman Penny. Now, me the copy Akoma State Housing Corporation. Penny Power Dano. No one's washing. Senyasa ewoma boko. Mama ne home boko. Senyasa ewoma. Then yetimi ama yeyina yetimi ahwem na fe wo mahunu. Sir, affordable home ownership for all. No, I told you and GMGS. Ghana mortgage guarantee system. No, as I say, you know, yet yes, I say it to be man nipa, enya baby papa, etra. Say, obi bet me a mortgage. Bia, nebosumia ketuya 10,000. Nebosumia ketuya 5,000. Obetimi ono ankasa to asase na wetimi start enura de be ka kire wo na esese e ma na kwan ene number 1. Number 2, say aban wa asase a, and let me say this, esese yetimi nya policy a na nanom ahemfo e wo mem ha asase a wo no woton wukọ eye asokore mampon a ensase wo ho yeton pon katamanso asase wo ho yeton asase bi ye won nanom ahemfo ase no aban hyase enhwehwe sika wukọ aban bi a wo ye won hyehye ye pepepa enya afa na okwa kyerem se me ba bless oto asase bi 1844 sa asase da ho ne na no mo dia eti sa aban kura akopɛ sa asase na eti sa aban tua sika sa ba sa abusua no na afa sa aban sa ka sa asase no na wode asase no ma aban a sa busu bibia na afi bia no aban tua bibia e friend royalties. Let me tell you, in modern day governance, royalties are just a fixed bibi and what asase so said dying sa asase etwam minerals and the royalties wo. Even royalties, let me sit here and tell you, Africa pay the 12 royalties. The whole universe, Africa pay and the 12 your friend is saying royalties. Eti yet me nya baby are not trusting you who say Pon Katamaso a year land guards a hard dream ho. And Sase wo here ebia 4,000 acres, 6,000 acres. 10,000 acres. Ya won krofo mem ha. Wo kasa ban ato asase no. Ana ban age sa asase ni na e de ama eye lands commission. Na sa wo kwa akoto a aban ho na wo to. Eye land guard eni wotumi. Salanga de be abono ho ne yese brum akowura ho a ye bo soldier farmer ne omo be ma camp ha ya omo Ghana police service pa no ma brawuram we ya amroba ye you free ho ntam because the best way to deal with criminals is to eliminate them. You take them out of the space so that God will make me a solo between an assassin. A prof between an idea, me between an idea, yeah, the chrono, obia no be yasem. So we need to look at the Ghana Land Bank Authority. That should sit under the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to release and digitize public lands for housing development. That's number one. Eliminate multiple land sales. 2, promote proper zoning. Because you say, oh, asase way, you be school. Asase way, you be way. We be want to say, you see, you zoning. Asase this market, no. Na sophobia o sika. Akwa akwaje. Ni dey see asoro dai. Ni ye dey gu asum. And let me tell you, say, me ye Christo ni, me ko Pentecost. Enye bebia na sese esi asoro dan. Ye was so dan bebre wo ha location asoro dan no no a nuisance. So we see asoro dan e wo residential area. Sa asoro ni misika. Obetimi aye soundproofer, ne sound ne mba bonten a pacho ye bebu agu. Because as a Ghana timi tenase na ohwese baby wi ase kono yenso ye kobi he se nyamesom e de konkron ye e ba wo ye kristoni e se odi akire wo ye muslimi e se odi akire se ewi ase baby a e kono e ho na bo nipa so a esese oman e di akire ye ntimi nunu ye ho na ye nsere. And we need to have what I call rent to own schemes. Yesterday I told you subsidized interest rates and then diaspora financed housing partnership. Makato pense to boase and cry to farm hano. Look for the American Revolution, the German Revolution, the French Revolution, the Chinese Revolution, and read. You would appreciate and understand, say you do baby a year on my me say I'm a tea. Me if you go more touch mine. And I'm a tea and cry her. Say go more touch mine everywhere and crow for me local diaspora, maybe come home. And I'm tea. It is a baby cosuna will hear. As I said, me come home ye. And also, as I say, a boy, they now crank. The 2 years I name a boy. Now, phase 1, as I told you yesterday, as I say, yen Timmy Kurano. If it's 2025 way, Eco 2030, 2 million housing units, new ones. And if you as I Ghana to be year number 2, full rent act reforms. Me share Ghana ye rent whatever act na me
morning shows.
Me say me ho say we see nipa na o kotua rent no onyere ne ho na onpe your friend say 6 months onpe 6 months na o kotua I find a branch here went 22 years. 23, 24, 25. Highest 30.
Captain Smart.
1 year Juma. Oh yeah. What your applications sir? I find in Yamia na doma. Onua TV afano. Office Sinchem. And Aba. Sinchem na waba bedroom no. Ye tua de ka o afere wedi bosume ana bosume miedu
Captain Smart.
Wo say on kope bosume nsia red famra yansa be ani such a person obey no be survive I met a certain guy or yeah join bank me money din Sa branch and the bank no ye adwuma no. Baby ofi obenya adwuma no won kran no. On to be sign kono krom. Enti otwa bank ne trust o baby da. Enso no ni baby te.
Captain Smart.
Na oni baby da. Eti ode kobo ha. No de akobo ha. Ode kobo ha. No de akobo ha. Ode kobo ha. No de akobo ha. Ade chia no akwa adwuma no address fine. No akwa adwuma. Hey.
Captain
6 months, it's too much. We'll talk about it.
Morning shows.
Then we need a proper land bank operationalization. Number 2, you from between 2025 to 2030. Yet to be complete. A year 2 million.
He is
housing units there.
Is unique.
Yeah, but between 2030 and 2025, we need additional 2 million housing units.
Captain Smart.
That one we need to add urban regeneration programs. Expansion of rent to own and green building mandate. Number 3, between 2035 and 2040, the final 2 million homes, full deficit closure, housing export models to West Africa. That is when we can say that Ghana, plan na ebi enko Africa. Then you how these things would work.
Captain Smart.
A day ye hang will crum and wahum. So wouldn't let me deal with the second pillar. Rent assistance and market regulation. That is pillar 2. This pillar addresses the exploitative and unregulated nature of Ghana's rental market by creating legal protections for tenants. That's number 1. 2, support mechanisms for vulnerable renters. And 3, performance incentives for responsible landlords. Captain Nisika Odibesi dai. Captain Yedeya obehind dai. Pacho, a dynamic highness no. Legal protection bay. And a yes so formidable. I bomb me hobai. Emra bay na wo memu ha. A bomb me hobai sa behind dai. A yes now call rent controller. And yesterday I told you, if you hire na metie and a rent control manager, district manager, oba me ho say if you retudu. So if district manager, na share rent control so me nya asam me ni me fe nya asam no me kɔ ho ɔno ni fe retu no ahaya na oba na me fa me phone ana me friend ni fe wura ana me pa na chawo sɛ me sra no ɔma rent control manager no ho ntɔ no na me mpon a ye betimi na trase ebo 10 ye ne trase ekeka nsɛm a ebɛka nyina ye fie wura no se captain wunti mama no na wɔtwe me nsa me nti it is a captain ni ho a wanti and ye bema rent control manager 3 months adebe ye dey no na let me tell you you see experience is the best teacher. It is ade na ye dey no ada obekɔ rent control office ho na the same thing na wo na mu no obeka to say captain smart ho so we need to create a proper legal protection for tenants. Number 2, we need what I call a support mechanism for vulnerable renters. Now watch this. Akwada bi wo ho awa ben otekra bi ase watro BC wetwa watro SSC wetwa otwa ye no lego na fa no obenya school akodo age ye kɔ scholarship secretariat
Captain.
Me man scholarship na ye de man no tuition.
He is smart.
Scholarship secretariat.
He is unique.
Scholarship na ye de man akodo na say yen and na say yen scholarship secretariat pending power bet oba odano no better hanka say they will concentrate on local universities no Ghana yen universities no se course ni bi ni Ghana ha de a me am akwa brucha
He is smart. He
until
is
recently
unique.
na ye tua tuition pe enti sa akwada na obetena hen
Captain Smart. The
So your ba
morning shows.
no akwada je bi nchen be wan se wada godin ho when be ba ho so na prof anyim no prof anyim no se enyo no a now I said that the insane question Godwin. Now Godwin start saying calculation, Charlie. Madam. And she said, "I person on me here no." Date man about me ha. So about her 14 February. Ben maybe your body annual. That's on paying insane and all your calculation. It's 14 February now buy no. Say I'm no can say you April. And I will catch him some when you say no and yamia. Hey, why yamia? Why? Okay, yanko test. No acquire test. No who said Okwada Godwin chain. February 14th, Val's Day. And the 1 year April, God is singing saying in your no. No about JB because JB is what you gumda. Now watch this. What's up penny first in Kunya? Penny first in Kunya Busefia. Funny things in the air. Some of the things we do in our various homes, you know, it is not backed by data and science. Which was I say, what another? I say, Annie. So I say, you saying you're the Aquasa with the film. We are then because some media. Many about the February. 1 year April. What's the main Quasa medium film? Now, three, you're the shop assy. So, such students, you know, they need support mechanisms.
Captain
Number 2. Number 3, we need performance incentives for reasonable landlords. Yeah? Maybe if you're a metran in chain, I will come say, Bokrum Hene. Baby, Obi and Yamin Shilano. Mem or Jimmy Bosumi, Bosumi, say you. Bosumi Bako, Bosumi, and or Jamie, a year rent, no, Obeka say, eh, be a salmon. Your friend Captain Smart, na me fifeba. The come share. The share wine. You rati your catable crum hine. Mammy and baby intina. Eh, be our back catable crum hine. Or hine marble crum hine to me. It's no mammy baby. I try, but at the end of the day, me trust surgeon home. Me will say, Yan Samoa. Say the Bob Bra or Bemha, ever way. Or Jimmy was swimming. I say, Bosumi be a swan. Who baby tread in the caswa? 10th of every month.
Captain Smart.
Bosumi be a swan. Or mommy 10 days free.
Captain Smart.
Say me from Bob me home because Ebia Abrante.
He is smart.
I fed my wife for fro. We be ko. We be ba. We be ko. We be ba. Ebia which be wom. Say nyame ya madum na biribi to me nsam kama ketua ho a. And some of the Sassicano Ako. Sir, woman, why landlords are what Tessano.
Captain
Magica Castro said, so who could trade in Casa Okohaya as a bind tax if it's a landlord, though, when their revenue.
He is smart. He is unique.
Sassicano, as a senior incentives to be more. Yet remember landlord now, sir landlord, no. Obaka say, me JB Papa, Obeha me dying. It's yes, sir. Incentive we mammy. As I said, me here for Emma a Godwin. Now we're saying it's in that air. So we need to have a proper performance incentives for responsible landlords. I feel my member rent assistance not so proper.
Captain Smart.
We need a serious national rent assistance scheme.
He is smart.
Say, who call America? Abanje wo ba efi wo nsaba sa akwada no ye man ba bitina aban wo ba wo no untimi hwa akwada no yi sa akwada no aban ba gina fi wo nsam aban no na pe ba bi man ntena ye fresh institution social welfare. But social welfare for more than do say, Pap, my men and cast on that social welfare, and if you were to do. Now, as I say, what I call government-backed rent guarantee fund targeting for low and middle income renters. Any part at this annual Obi di baby ofi obi pie nkran. E penifo baby say we need jonku a ade be che so. Ordinemu onkran ni nemu ni ba ne ho so no. Na wadu baby a wanya adwuma papa bi a oye esese han dan. Such a person. Hello. He said, I'm going to catch you. Obey a day, no behind dino. We want free war. I catch some do to Milka. Informal sector workers, no. What better no met me? I say a share and mebuna. Edim fear doom or trade. Titru, equity, Edriasa, enum. Youth are between 18 and 35. Omem high at the annual. Politician be a person winning election or see youth. Will be a person winning election or see youth. Oh, I don't know. And mebuna a woman mohano. Who compared to my SCA 5 years experience. When it's me blessed to we. No quack where you why economics? It's a quack compared to our threat. Okoya threat to say up a 5 years experience. Okofane him. Ne papa radio ni TV. And on they can one say a drums now obono. E wa saw them no. And I say they here any experience.
Last caller.
Aji obi the influence bi ka ho. And say afano. Ye fadi wie na fa ne sa mente ase. E bi pa meti ase. Ba me so me han dan. E dan na metim no me ba no on timi ntra ho bi. Emfa nya adwuma o senator. Bless your name. Etama emebuna brabo aye den e wo man. And we need BB for them. Those between the ages of 18 and 35 are formally when we are employed. We need to find a solution. And I say, Uba single parent. Eddie, Bema on one and Henema. Oba on Unkwason and Henema. And Yadia, a dafom. Rent advance policy na Joe Krumano. I say, here was some neka. I'm running across the interest 6 months. 6 months in crying in the show. But I have told you, and I want to repeat, I don't believe in the 6 months. Say you're behind advance. No, maximum must be 2 months. Advance rent rule. 1 month. Carry forward. That is the rent. The following month, another month now, we'll try 2 months. No. And when I hear security deposits, for if you rather say, we are there, Bosumi Bakuya, what to me, what you Bosumi, do not trust no, what to me a tria. Now, as I say, I am Radicate, say, landlord be about violating this particular rule. There will be heavy penalties. And so would be refund 50% of the tenants. Sikana ni penetriano. Emanura. And no remember yet dying high no home. Shane be ye pepe. Because watch this. And ra any pepe here me ba question if you say. Dollar na ba form. Jaman ne die no value no aba form. Dollar no aba form. Eti ono ne dan a wesie no say okoton a value na aba form. Enti e dan ne bo no watum. Say na ode aka ho or the 600 Ghana cedis and ode aka ho. Eni pa de say me boso market 1000 Ghana captain. My dan me tua. Bibi ni enipa o. Woko amai bia wo dwene one mind for ho a. Yo bibi e fe no. Rent security, medical can want so much. But ade ba ko say Chief Justice bi obeba no. Another acting Chief Justice so boyen. Ni enya rent courts and the mobile rent tribunals. Number 1. Se fiewura bi etetew. Obi ohan dan so tete fiewura. Sa case no etimi di court line echi. Tintin na emu awie da. Meanwhile, ye you niama egu abonten ewo June enso togu so. Meanwhile, obi ohan dan ayere ne ho papa ne fiewura sum. Ye di sa asem ne wie. So as country, we need to establish the rent courts and the mobile rent tribunals. Ye tell say, go mo atachimai court nsi ho. Go mo atakwa court nsi ho. Asesewa ebia any court. Wo be kwa miamia bebre no court ni ho. And eye mi won say besi na Ghana ye ni mobile court. I keep asking myself, why don't we have mobile courts? Maybe sir, appeals court judge you can say, oh, na alternative dispute resolution no, and then I'm saying, what are you talking about, judge? And no, yes, mundi wo prisons in kwa the osebel momano. But I am talking about properly organized and structured mobile courts.
Captain.
It's a show. Obi betuka at the courtroom. Every ABR. I am using asukwa. Say court ho. But I'm just using asukwa. Now ABR nipano ote bosomche. Baby and so then from bosomche. There be any district. Baby and so then ankasano. We no problem. Fanso thing yamiani. Me na kromo yamiani. Elbow some districts. Now what na ka mo ten sa abakumase adum
King of morning shows.
And then obaji adum oni ni fe nya asem. If you are no general 100 Ghana cedis a Canada en akatwa no. But wa faka abako efidamiani wa ba adum wababa mienu waba miensa waba nine waba num what do you check it?
Captain Smart,
the risk involved,
King of
the
morning
cost
shows.
involved. But say chief justice now otwitna say structure a proper mobile court. What in yamiani assemblyman wo ho one list cases are e wo ho ni nyina assemblyman no a forward sa cases ni na no to district assembly no na we no mamenka we ye wo lawyers bi okrom ha wo no wo de wasem ko down a ye nju sika
He is
dey
smart.
from say omo din bi e dey from
He is smart. He is
yo din
unique.
bi a
He
wo
is
kwa
the best.
so saja enye probono ni judge lawyer nju sika aban lawyers no your lawyers bi ho a legal aid who call legal aid for no one joshi now sa legal aid for no esese yetimi twa won kaye na ye convert one into a properly structured mobile court eti yenim say bia nyame ani mobile court for no bosumi bia no wo baba ko na mammy am etifie no me ho anchebe eti obitimi fik afaka
Captain Smart.
all the way from Asamankase okwahe obakot won cry why why so that we can be able to establish fast track housing courts in each region. Number 2, pilot the mobile rent tribunals I just talked about to solve underserved and rural districts. Tenant and landlord registration portal. Any question I'm sorry, JB accident in Penea, never could JB ho, no be demanding Debbie. There must be a national portal. And look at me up why me at track it. Criminals.
If it was my own son.
As I say, who can hide dying near more tenancy agreement? Quickly, no one register tenancy agreement on that portal. Say, Mama Bia can't tell me say. Mena na kwaku bi cheme kura ase ho internet ni honti yent mi nye and the responsibility of government to make sure that whatever policy obe introduce no obi ote ba bi bia no ne nsa betimi aka bi na waye e ma asomdwe etimi aba ɛsɛ sɛ yɛtimi log in what I call the rent payment history. Who didn't call maybe a song catch up say metua rent a system is actually tracking.
He is smart.
Rent payment history. Said the bay buy the me trust no who say no abranti e bia ye wo e dan bia ye sa say ye sisi e wo sahwi ono so te Boadu say your man bi wa sign so a ebetimi aboa no chance bosumi bia wo dan kase wo hwe the salary ni so a o kase okoto asase sidan a ebedi 30-40 years ebia no nduru ho.
He is smart.
That must be in place. And I told you about the landlord incentives. Number one, 20% tax rebate for landlords who, number one, provide rental contracts with tenant protection. 2, lease for over 3 years. As a society who say, Busumi biano betra odanka, busumi bia betra odanka, busumi bia betra odanka, busumi bia betra odanka. But me won fear me and contract with you. E bia me flout busumi me and say na wutube to me. Said the beya a branch na wako hind dino. Ababa wana wako hind dino. And a nipa na wako hind dino. Obey na so you say, many me fear away won fear me and contract. But ya jet to me say 29th of every month, as somebody did the Sikabano.
He is unique. He is
such landlords. As I say, I do what I told you yesterday. The Ghana housing card, no so. Pillar 3, pillar 4, pillar 5, pillar 6, and at the end of the day. Master, I'm ready to. Yadinda Beko. Akoma eye aswea ehwe adansie so na won ankasa etena se a na omahu se sei ena yebeye no na bibia no etimi atotom eyie kama say amad anye saa I think say trouble kase pa ebe kan bibia edan han ehon sem ekono ebsafo me metoi ebia nyame ayemadom me han bi but wo de wo han bi endo me catch us ade a eye wasase so ne se wa ba akokora na wo fi wura tu.
If it was my own son,
when the 60 years,
what people will come here,
who could do fear, who feel say,
would have killed a lot. I'm telling you, I could have killed a lot of people.
66. Benyama mi penny bi obaha onu kutapma obre nimkoto dwe na hohona kese opesika ko hospital. Onya asasika na bi. But ni feel so say Madam, 2.
Kill a lot.
Such a person.
I'm telling you.
Also about him saying and ma e wo hen. I mean case me so enye obi a na ba asase so a
of morning shows.
And enye obi a so na ba asase so wo ye ne ma adwen ye adwuma.
He is smart.
And enye obi a na ba asase so a ne ma adwen ye adwuma. Ne ma so wo adwuma ya. I keep asking myself very simple questions. Me mama wo me nko a. Onem papa ina me anam tie. Saka me wu a ho na be hwagi. Ho na be hwe no. Eti say ye yo oman a wo hu yenyi politics ne film. Na yenya policies, they put in place structures ebo nipa ewo man nim enye won a wo John NDC won a wo John MPP no
Captain Smart.
And that is why I keep telling my colleagues to say ya to abana wie intercolleges ni ya ba wie say ya bo super zonals ya du ba bia say ya bo yen ho na oman no etimi ejina ye share so